Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Ann
and Ching En.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road
and get started.
Welcome back to Formosa Dream Chasers. We've come a long way with Rhea Leorag these past 2 episodes, from her experiences finding her place in Taiwan and Seoul, to the insights she's gained from living in both countries. In this final part, Rhea opens up about the lessons she's learned along the way to help us all along our journey. Moving the conversation back, when we first chatted before you actually went to South Korea, you were sharing about how you wanted this experience to expand your horizons professionally and also personally. And I'm wondering, now that, you finished that leg of your journey, did this experience meet your expectations? How do you feel about this whole chapter?
Personally, yeah, definitely. I think also because I decided to show up. Like, I looked for those conferences. I looked for, where would people like me with interest in, indie music and music business, where would people like me go? And I found these events, and I found like-minded people, thankfully, maybe a couple who became, my closest friends. And so I was able to learn more about the business. With my job also, by virtue of just being there, I got assigned more work in Korea, because we don't have an office in Korea.
Okay.
And so that helped me. And now a big part of my job actually is working in Korean related spaces, like distributing artists' music with local Korean platforms, working with Korean influencers, things like that. So I was definitely able to expand my own capabilities within Taiwan when I was here and within Korea when I was there. And I think that was something that was not really that intentional before I moved, but it's something that really helped me out and is still helping me out at this point in my career. And I think that after all of it, right, after moving back here, I had the realization that moving forward, I really want to do more regional work, which is what I'm doing now. But that's the path that I think I want to take, because there is that I still have that expertise on Southeast Asia coming from the Philippines, and also having learned about other countries like Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia in the last couple of years, traveling to there, working with artists there, and then living here and living in Korea. I feel like those insights into the culture and the music business landscape in those countries is something that are things that I will keep honing and using in my career, at least in the next few years.
Okay. When you say you want to continue doing regional work, is there a specific country that you're currently looking into?
Oh, regional, more like Asia Pacific.
I mean, there are so many countries here
I
in the
know.
Asian.
I know, right? Right now it's Southeast Asia and East Asia.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. The next thing that on my list is I need to learn more about Japan. It just makes sense. Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. I've visited Japan, but I don't think I'm gonna move there. I don't really want to move
Okay.
again anytime soon, but I think I want to learn more about the music business language in Japan, and how do I promote artists in Japan, or is there place for promoting Japanese artists to Asia Pacific, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the growth path I'm looking at the moment.
Okay. Would this statement be correct if I say that your academic experience, this chapter, is complete? Is that a true statement?
I have no idea. I think at this point, I don't think I want to do a PhD. I don't
Right.
think it's relevant in my industry. Maybe I will for a visa when that
Okay.
time comes.
What do you mean for visa?
If I just want to move to Spain or something like that, then I would take
Okay.
PhD. But definitely not sometime soon. In terms of just studying, I will continue learning the languages that I've learned, like Mandarin and Korean. Yeah, I have this itch to be more fluent in Korean because being average level on a language is so frustrating. It's like you're either fluent or you're not, or you either know it or you don't. So now I just want to like know it to finish that circle, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And looking back at this, I would say maybe 3 year or more than 3 year journey, what was the part you enjoyed the most and what was your least favorite part?
The part that I enjoyed the most is the music. That's very general, but I listened to a lot of new music. I went to a lot of live shows. It's funny realizing now that that was not the reason I went out of the country. The reason was studies, but like it's there. Um, but yeah, it's discovering so much music and so much music communities and like this realization that there's so much to discover and so much to learn in this field that I chose for myself. And I think that's been a lot of fun and it will be a lot of fun still in the next few years.
Mhm.
My least favorite part is visa application.
I had a feeling. I had a
That
feeling.
just came to me now. I was gonna say something else, but I was like, no, it's actually that. And all the times like just immigration stuff in the airport, things like that. It's difficult. Border control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
What was
God.
the other thing you were gonna say though?
No, I mean, I was almost gonna say like long academic texts in masters, but you know what? Compared to visa application, I loved those.
Yeah. I understand. To our listeners who, are just as fascinated by your story as I am, is there any life or work advice that you would like to share?
Whenever I'm asked this question, not that I get asked it a lot, but like I always feel like I haven't figured out life enough to give anyone advice. Um, but I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna double down on like show up as much as you can because showing up leads to the opportunities, because showing up leads to meeting people in your life that may actually change your life. That's important. Yeah. Just be part of a community as much as you can.
Okay. If I may also just
Mm.
share what I've learned from you just from this conversation alone. I've learned from you that taking the path doesn't always lead you to what you think it will, but it may lead to something just as interesting or just as fun. And so it also ties into what you just said about showing up. So just show up, just do it, just go. Because staying where you are may not necessarily lead you anywhere. That's what I've learned from you. Mm.
Yeah, and that's something I'm gonna think more about at this transition stage also, because I'm also like, okay, what now?
Yeah. So you're figuring out the next part of your journey?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've kind of figured it out, at least the next year, which is just be here in Taiwan and work regionally, I think. But I have this like both positive and negative trait that I get bored so easily. We've talked about this before also, and I'm always just looking for what's the next thing that will give me excitement. And I may still be looking for it at
Okay.
this point, yeah. But there's that side of me that's like rest a little bit, maybe. That's something I should learn from you.
Until you get bored. I have a feeling your capacity for being bored is not very high.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun, but
Yeah, at least it makes your life interesting. Okay, cool. Before we end, is there anything else you wish to add? Or would you like to leave a message for our audience?
I think we covered that in show up.
Okay. Okay.
Let's just leave it there.
Okay. And then lastly, because you are promoting different artists and also their music. Do you have any recommendations for listeners to check out certain music or artists before you go?
So many artists come to mind. I have recently been working with an artist called Min. That's Minh. He's from Vietnam. He makes pop music, very sassy pop music. I've been in love with his music the past few weeks. So yeah, definitely check out Min from Vietnam. Also check out Kyer from Taiwan. He's one of our most fun artists that we work with here in Taiwan. So Kyer makes sexy R&B. I'll leave that for you to discover. So that's Kire. And then lastly, we have an artist called Lambc, Lambc. He's from South Korea and he makes chill coffee shop K-indie. Very easy listening, music you can listen to while driving or working. And he's one of the artists I've been loving lately as well.
Okay. I personally would love to check them out. I've heard a lot about Kyer.
Right, we did. I still have that promise of taking you guys to a Cairo show.
Yeah,
I hope this never gets to Cairo.
so I'm definitely curious about those recommendations. And as always, it was lovely chatting with you, Rhea. I'm very happy to be able to catch up with you. And thank you so much for spending your time with me today.
Of course. Thank you as well. I had a lot of fun.
Same. Thank you. Before ending today's show, since we have been talking about the music industry in Taiwan, South Korea, and the Philippines, here's a short clip giving a better idea of what it's like to be a musician in these countries, and Rhea's advice on what to do to get your career in music started.
And how the Filipino bands get money to, sustain their career.
They work really hard. So the artists that I know can live off of their music, which is very rare, they do live shows like thrice, 4 times a week. And that's for bands who can pull an audience. But a lot of the bands that I know, they have day jobs. So they can sustain the music that they make. The industry doesn't really pay that well. So you rely on shows, you rely on merchandise.
Actually, talking about pay.
Okay.
No, because I'm really curious because I'm outside of this industry and you talk about how difficult it is.
Yes.
So can you give me or our audience an idea what the pay is like?
I feel like in terms of streaming in general, that's it doesn't pay. It pays very little.
Sure.
It pays like cents per stream or something. It pays different based on the country where the stream is coming from. Like if someone streams your song in the US, it pays more than when someone streams your song in the Philippines. But in terms of how artists earn, YouTube also, a lot of them are doing that. So digitally, you can earn based on like how many streams and how many views you get. Shows, a lot of the smaller gigs, like your bar gigs, because it's different in the Philippines. Here we have live houses. In the Philippines, we do the gigs at bars and coffee shops. So a lot of those are gate share. So it depends on how much is earned that night and how many bands are playing, and then usually you divide them, or you give more to the more famous band who build the more crowd, essentially. A lot of the money would come from corporate gigs or mall shows, because malls, I don't know in Taiwan actually, but malls in Manila are corporate. And they pay quite a bit of money when they get bands to just perform in their activity centers. So I would say at least 50,000 NT for one show. But definitely could go beyond that. Could go like 300,000 or more.
Yeah, I just mentioned that the money part of a band. A lot of the bands actually they need to produce their own merchandise to sell, to make money in addition to the performance itself.
In Taiwan, actually. In Manila too, but I think the purchasing power is just higher here for merchandise. Yeah.
For people interested in doing the same line of work, what would you suggest they take up as undergrad students?
Back in the Philippines, I know we have MINT, Meridian International School, where they have like music business. If I knew about that, no, I probably still wouldn't have. Because before uni, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Anyway, I can only really share about one undergrad degree in Taipei National University of the Arts. It's called MIT Music and Image or Interdisciplinary Technology. I don't remember. It's called MIT and TNUA, but it's really cool. I met the people from this program. They learn the workings of music and shows beyond the music itself. So they learn image projection, staging a production, shooting music videos. But I think these degrees do exist, like these very niche degrees like MIT or music business. They do exist if you find them. But also, to me, in terms of like leading the career that you want, it's not really about your undergrad. Like, it helps if by that time you already know what you want to do and you want to learn from it. Especially in the music business, like you mentioned earlier, it's more about the people you know and the things that you expose yourself to. So me, I started with it by going to shows and talking to the people. And through that, I learned, oh, this is how you record music. And oh, this is how you promote it. You go to radio back then, you go to TV. Or these days you go on social media and this is what you do. And it's just a matter of applying what skills you have. And so it's about applying your skills. And then, from then you start small and then you just hopefully build it up. And continue meeting the right people, continue going to shows, exploring more and more artists, exploring more and more cultures. So yeah, and it's never too late. If you know it by undergrad, great. If you figure it out when you're 40, it's never too late to start. You can always start small and build up from there.
I really think that's important advice. I like the part that resonated with me most is it's okay if you don't know. Everything, you can figure it out.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what age you are. So I love that bit. What would your advice be to bands? And I think maybe we can break that down to when you're just starting and you don't know the identity of your band, what your music is like. Since this is your expertise, I think people who want to start a band or who maybe have a dream would benefit from your wisdom.
Yeah, so when you're starting, really just enjoy it. But I think what's really important right now in this age of like hundreds of thousands of tracks being uploaded on Spotify every Friday, something that's really important is to know your sound and know who you are as an artist. And that's not easy. That's something that some people take years to find. So it's important to know your sound and your identity as an artist because that's going to be how you will package yourself for people to get to know about you. But it's also important to not be overwhelmed by the need to know that it's a process and you just have to start. You have to make music. If you could, please post content. These days, the staple advice is like 2 videos a day, like 10 videos a week. But like, start making your music, start making your social media accounts, post fun videos, post videos that tell people who you are as an artist, where you're from, what kind of music you make, post covers, post snippets of new songs that you just started to write. Not everything will work out. Maybe some will. Maybe a video that you make right now will get viral 3 years from now. Who knows? But just like, you have to go out there and put in the work, because if you're not, and to me, this is the main point of music marketing. Like, you want people to hear your story, but if you're not telling them about it, if you're not putting it out there, how will they know that you exist? Try not to take 2 years to make an album. The world moves so fast these days. I would say when you're starting out, just go out there and
get started.
Share it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people who have so many interests, likes and dislikes, and you'll most likely find even just a few people who are actually into what you're making. But if you're not putting yourself out there, you won't be able to find them. Like, it's a matter of trying and trying until you figure out what works for you and also for your audience, because you will see what they're engaging with.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in.
This is Ching and Cho
and Mary Ann Shoko. See you guys next week. Bye.